get into it. We're back to the future.
Oh,
With
yes.
legalization and descheduling. What's your initial just quick take?
I mean, obviously, just, with the way things are going, it's honestly, it's kind of one of those things I'm afraid to be too excited. And then it's also like, how do I prepare for, what's possible, what's coming? So it's kind of like a mixed bag of emotions here, just kind
Right,
of hanging in the wind, waiting for
right,
like a yes, no, if we're gonna do it,
right,
give us something. If we're
right.
not, let us figure out how we can, go from what we have right now to build on it and make the best of what we can.
I think you said earlier it's the waiting game.
Hmm.
And I think that's a great way to describe it. And as a brand, a leader in New York State, I feel like, there's a lot of pressure there to deliver and, to be able to, find those new paths forward. What do you see, happening as, let's just say, we are going into the future and the new
Hmm.
water. How do you look at that? What do you see for HBI?
Honestly, I just see going back to basics. Initially, going in, most people kind of just want to be competitive and push products out there and, just move things right along. But really, what we need to do is just get back to focusing on the actual plant, the product, the benefits, what it's doing for people. There's so many stories out there, just kind of, people making the best of it and actually, healing themselves, taking care of themselves, living better lives, relaxing,
Right.
which is what I use it for. But
Me too.
it's
Right.
just kind of, focusing on actually making good products and keeping the education going and, making it more of a cannabis movement versus, just weed sales.
Right, right. And I mean, in terms of differentiation in the market and the impact on your business, there's a lot of, you know, competitive, amazing brands out there and amazing
Mhm.
processors and manufacturers. How would you differentiate HPI right now?
I would say, like, even now, just with, what we're doing with our brands, as cultivators, we're kind of just trying to return to the natural roots, kind of focusing on regenerative, sun-grown farming practices, and just kind of making sure that we can preserve the actual natural terpene profiles and utilize low environmental impact, just kind of processes that will actually grow the business, keep the product stable and healthy, clean, and again, just focusing on quality versus just pushing products out there and putting high percentages and all of that. Like, it kind of skews what the base of cannabis is all about. It's not really about, having the highest THC of a
Right,
product. It's really about, what is this terpene? What is it actually doing for you? What are the
right.
benefits
Will
of
help
it?
you.
So
Yeah,
just kind of, again, focusing on that cannabis education, going back to making the best product we can and
basics
putting it into the market for the people who are actually wanting to utilize it for what they
for
need it.
help. I love that. And so we jumped into it because it's such a deep topic and rescheduling. But tell us quickly about HPI and give us the roundabout on your products, your brands, because some people might not know.
Yeah, so honestly, HPI, we work with a lot of different brands right now. We're bringing newer brands into the market. And again, as our products, most of our brands, Dank, Platinum Reserve, Miss Grass, Her Highness, the list literally goes on and on. But within all of those brands, the focus is always going to be quality. And that's what we do. That's what HPI is known for. The products themselves, the brands represent, the owners, but we still put the product out there. We're delivering the products. We're making sure our processes are following along with the guidelines and also making it easier for the dispensaries to work with us. With those so many rules and everything that we have to follow, we want to make that process simple, versus, adding another step or anything for
Right, right.
our dispensaries.
And there's so many compliant rules in New
Oh
York
yeah.
State. It's deep. And, if you don't know, don't be fooled
Oh,
because,
definitely.
yeah, it's,
It's one of those, like, it's not like, there's no room to really play around
right,
or play games. Like,
right,
it's a high
right,
focus on actually, following those guidelines, making sure that we're doing
right,
and putting out the
right.
best that we can for our product.
Do you think that Schedule 3 status, goes far enough right now?
Honestly, not really, because again, when it comes to this, it's only really going to impact those on the medical side.
Right,
So now that leaves all of those, all of those C operators, those people who are actually running their small businesses right now, and there are no benefits to it. There, you can't write anything off. You're not getting that, benefit of paying your employees
right,
properly.
right,
There's a lot of things that money could be used for,
right,
rebuilding, marketing, funding programs, funding education, you
right.
know, things that can actually help the market and help the stores themselves. And just that influx of extra funds itself would help a lot.
It's sort of like a dangle. It's like this is
Yeah.
great, but
It's
still
like, oh,
needs
it's great. Look at what they're doing on this level, but
right,
yeah, we'll still wait and see what we're going to do with you over here.
right,
So
right. Yeah,
it's a
it's like
little unfair, but
right,
it is a step in the right direction. Um, you know, a step is a
definitely.
step.
Step is a step. One giant step, maybe.
Yep. We
Um,
need to go 5 giant steps, but yes.
right. Yes. That's great. Also, I think there's so many licenses have been issued. How can cultivators and processors really differentiate in such a competitive field? I think this is such an important question because some will move out, some will not survive.
Mhm.
How does HBI differentiate in the market?
Well, honestly, just with the brands that we work with, we literally try to make sure that we're telling an authentic brand story. We're presenting,
Yeah,
good product to the customer. We're not just focused on, bringing a new strain every week or
yeah,
switching things out. We're really wanting to know what the customers are thinking, what that feedback is. How
right.
can we, change our processes, even, on the farming side? Are we using, the best? Are we getting the best product? We always try to pull and make sure that our customers are also getting the top tier products,
Yeah,
not just, better pricing or whatever. It's, price is going to adjust in the market. We see how people do things with pricing anyway. So if you're going to have the same pricing across the board,
yeah,
at least the products speak for themselves and differentiate themselves. So that's really what we focus on, is just kind of, getting back to the holistic and wellness side of it, and
right.
then providing the best products for the consumers.
And to really help people who need it,
Yeah,
who
absolutely.
we're going after it. Tell us I guess, your new product that you're right now that's out there, that's on the market, that you're excited about, new brand.
Well, right now, our newest brand on the market is Papa's Herb. It's definitely an exciting brand. It's one of those with a lot of options. We have everything from eighths to pre rolls and flour and the vapes. So, with the cartridges as well. So, all of those products kind of provide a full line. So, the customers don't really have to go out to another kind of brand to
Mm,
experience what a vape, or maybe you want
yeah,
to try a pre-roll or a flower, but you can still get it from that same brand. And Papa's Herb themselves, all of the flour is top quality. The packaging is great. It kind of stands out on the shelves. And then also the price point is extremely competitive. So it's definitely going to give the customers another option in the market that actually won't break their bank. So
and Papa's Herb is available now in stores
yes, it
in
is.
New York.
It's right now we're in about 120 stores. So
Wow.
hopefully we will expand a lot sooner.
That's amazing. We love to hear that. New brands coming, and I'm sure there's a great story behind it. Maybe that'll be our next podcast that we're
Oh,
doing, our
yes.
video cast, right? And we'll talk
Oh
about
yeah, we could definitely
Papa's
go into the brands. There's literally so
Right,
much.
right. And AgelessGreen is about, really, we're talking about as we age, and that could be where you're thinking about it at 30 or you're thinking about it at 40 or 50. And we're trying to really say how cannabis can affect and help the aging body, the aging
Mhm.
mind. And that's really where we're at the forefront for AG and AgelessGreen. So thank you for being with us today, Kate.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. I really, really appreciate it.
And Kate McGara McLaughlin from HPI. What's your official title?
Brand sales. So it's regional brand sales.
Regional Brand Sales at HPI. Thank you so much. We will see you in the future.
Yes, indeed.